Welcome to the beautiful and sunny island of Mallorca. Me and my brother are here for IronMan Alcudia this weekend, and today I'm going to show you over my bike setup, and in the next video I'll go over his bike setup as well. That's quite an interesting one. So come in closer and I'm going to take you over my bike. My bike here is an Orbea Ordu, and it's a medium large, so I've got the saddle about as high as it goes there, and that's about as low as the mono riser goes. So I could chop it if I wanted to go lower, but it's pretty damn low at the moment. As we're getting closer, the most important thing for triathlon is fueling. I had this for my original bike, this old like aero drink here. It's okay. Basically, if you fill it up too high, it starts to splash out the top, and well, your whole bike gets sticky and covered. So you can only really fill it up to about the top of that aero drink logo there. On the plus side though, you can obviously drink it whilst you're in the aero bars, which makes it really good. And another advantage to this is that you quite literally just put your bottle on the top here, poke the nozzle through and just squeeze the rest of it in. So that means the bottle I have on the back here, I only ever have to take it out once. It means less faffing around there. I don't know if it actually makes it more aero, but I bought this like stupid aero pouch on the back here just to see if I could aerify the back of the bike a bit more. It does come with a little bit of additional storage that you can get into, but I haven't found I've needed to use it yet. I would love to know from you guys if you know of any better hydration systems. In my head, I would always love something where I could replace this bottle and have like a really long bottle that holds about 1.5 litres and a tube that runs up through here and stuck on with a magnet or something. But I don't have a 3D printer, and I don't think many people have one big enough to do that. This isn't the saddle I normally use. I normally use one of the physique saddles for my normal time trial setup, but I find for triathlon actually this one works better, and it also made it a lot easier to get this bottle cage on as well. But I find I can tilt further forward for longer when you're going for 2.5 hours, whereas the physique I could normally only sit on it for about an hour, normally like a 40k time trial. I normally have my Garmin mount here, and it comes in, it sits in the middle here in between my arms, but of course with the Aero Drinks bottle you can't have that there. So I've had to basically botch this kind of profile design thing on top here, this Aero bridge, and it's just held on by rubber bands actually, because it doesn't quite bolt in, it's too thick around here because of the cable that runs through the handlebar. But honestly, this is absolutely solid. Like, this isn't going anywhere. I've used this 4 or 5 times now for middle distance triathlon, and it sits there just fine. Then we get to wheels. So here are the Parkours. This is the Chrono Max on the front, so a big 83mm wheel. It's really deep, but I really like it. And on the back, we've got the Parkours disc, which is a bit of a beast. And they're both running a 28mm tire, just so they're more comfortable for triathlon. So they look pretty wide. They actually measure at 30mm on here, and it's nice and squishy, especially when you're going out for 2.5 hours. I did actually test these wheels and tires and how much faster they were than my original setup, and these are amazing. So over this middle distance, they're probably going to be about 3 minutes quicker, which is a massive saving compared to my original setup. So if you want to watch the video, I'll link that down below there. The tires that I am running is the GP5000 TT TR, so as fast as they can get from Continental. There are some faster tyres, but there's only about 2 of them, and to be honest, the puncture resistance on these I found to be superior to anything else I've ever used for the speed. I am running them tubeless as well, once again for speed, and hopefully if there is a puncture, there's a chance that it might seal. So it's not a guarantee, but there's a chance that it might seal. One thing I love about the Orbea Ordu is the extra storage that you get here. So I carry my CO2, my spare tubes, I've got those little tyre plugs and the worms. It's neatly packed, so I'm going to leave it as it is there. But also it's underneath in this nice aero position. Once again, that just keeps all your spares ready. If we get onto my group set here, it's set up as Ultegra Mechanical, which works really fine on here actually. Of course, personally, I am going for the waxed chain. I still need to wear this one in. It takes about 10-15k to wear it in, so I'll do that tomorrow before I go rack up. But the original Ordus here came with the Rotor Vega Fast with the aero chainring on the front, and I know these are quite a big saving. They're actually about like anywhere between like 1 to 4 watts, so to have an aero chainring, so I'm quite glad my bike came with that. It is only 52 on the front, so I tend to find myself in the smaller cogs at the back quite a lot, but for triathlon, it's actually a good size. For time trialing, I'll probably prefer a 54 chainring. It is a disc brake bike, so coming down Col de Femina, that should actually help a little bit, but actually my brother on his rim brake bike seems to do just as well down Col de Femina as me, so maybe disc brakes aren't that much of an advantage when descending. The last thing I've got running on here are the Favero Asioma pedals IronMan Lux. And these are a great power meter to run with them, and they're always very reliable, fairly stiff to get in and out of, but actually once you're clipped in, you're not going to clip out for a long time, especially on triathlon with closed roads. In terms of how much fuel I actually carry, so I tend to have about 80 carbs a drink in here. I have a further 80 carbs a drink in there, so that covers me for 2 hours. And I don't fill this one all the way up, about half fill it to keep the weight down, and this one's just plain water if I just need to rinse my mouth or something like that. The rest is made up with gels and stuff, so I'll probably carry an extra 2 additional gels, the big SIS ones that are 40 grams. Finally, I pair my setup with a Giro Arrowhead, not the new one, not the crazy one, but the old one here. And for me, I actually tested this against the POC, one of the fastest helmets out there. But this tested just as fast for me. It's probably going to be less punishing if I'm not in position. And if I need to, I can just take the visor off and stick it back on whenever I need to. And that way, when you leave transition, your visor doesn't fog up, so you can keep that off. And secondly, when you're climbing, you can take the visor back off, so you can get a little bit more air towards the face as well. So I find this one of the best triathlon time trial helmets for me. Of course, one final thing to mention, and that is the weight of this bike. As it is now, it comes in at 10.9 kilos, so that's with all the bottles and hydration. This saddle's a little bit heavier. Its usual time trial setup is literally bang on 10 kilos, but obviously a bit heavier for triathlon. I'm going to do the same thing with my brother's bike here in the next video that will come out tomorrow. If you have any questions or want to know more about this bike, you can message me down below. I usually reply to most of the comments, or you can find me on Instagram over here. I've been Jason, this has been Cycling Unboxed. I'll see you in the next video.